Hello everyone, welcome back to my network. If you are planning to relocate to the United States, whether it's for business or whether it's for tourism, you need a B1, B2 visa. And today we will discuss the most crucial step in obtaining this visa, which is the interview. Ever since I started speaking about conferencing, a lot of people have gotten invites for conferences in the States. Today we will be discussing the most common questions which will be asked during your B1, B2 visa interview and provide you on tips on how to answer them effectively. And stick to the end because I will let you know the questions that I was asked during my visa interview and how I was able to answer this question. And not only that, today you will hear from the horse's own mouth, the Consul General at the US Embassy in Accra, Ghana. I'm talking about Consul General Elliot. So without wasting much time, Carl, hit the intro. Alright, so before we dive into the specific questions which is asked, kindly subscribe to the channel if you are new. It really helps us a lot, and you can also share with a friend who might need this. Now let's continue. It is important to remember that the interview process is designed to assess your eligibility and ensure that you meet the requirements for the B1, B2 visa. And this is something that the consular officer will do, and they will try to delve deep into your affairs to know the purpose of your visit. They also try to see whether you have ties to your home country. They can even probe to see if you are financially stable. And this could be more. They can ask tons and tons of questions depending on how you answer your questions. This looks like a lot, but know that you might even spend 3 to 6 minutes during the interview, or it can even be less. So we have a snippet of an interview the Consul General Elliot had with ADOM FM, which is a local radio station in Ghana. And he mentioned some of the top 3 questions that is asked during B1 interview questions. And let's watch what he said and analyze everything that he said. So Carl, just play the video and let's analyze whatever he said during the interview.
During the interview, one of the common mistakes is that people think that there is a certain kind of...
So here, the Consul General is trying to tell us the major or the biggest mistake that people make during the interview and what people think even before the interview. Let's see what he said.
Document that will get them the visa. Actually, officers usually don't look at documents during a visitor visa interview. Instead, it's the answers to the questions that are posed to them that the officers make their decision on.
So he's saying that during the visa interview, people think that they have to present a lot of documents or tons of documents before they will get the visa. But no, he's trying to say that they don't even look at the document sometimes. They just look at how you answer your questions and how you narrate everything that you say to them. It is upon all of this narration that they will decide whether you qualify for the visa or not. This is actually true because during my visa interview, I was never even asked of any document. It was only my passport that they took, and that was it. I was given the visa right away. Now let's continue to listen to whatever he said during the interview regarding what we are coming to discuss today.
You should be ready to answer 3 very common questions.
So here he's saying that you should be able to answer 3 commonly asked questions, and he is coming to list those questions. From there, we'll continue our video.
What do you do?
The first question he is saying is they will ask, what do you do
here in Ghana? Why do you want to go to the United States?
Why do you want to go to the United States? That is the second question.
And have you ever traveled outside of Ghana before?
And the third question is, have you ever traveled outside of Ghana before?
And finally, be honest.
So he has also added that you have to be honest and you have to be truthful.
If you are not honest or you present fake documents, not only will you be denied the visa, but you could be forbidden from going to the United States for the rest of your life.
So that is it. He said that you have to be honest, you have to make sure that you tell the truth, and if they see any foul play in your answers, you can be denied visa and you can be banned from entering the USA for some time or even for life. So there we have it. We've heard from the horse's own mouth. This is a consular general in Ghana, and these are the top questions that will be asked during your visa interview. So let's analyze what he said. let's go by the order that he said. He said that the first thing is you have to show sufficient ties. That is what he said. And I've already spoken about this in my previous video where I spoke about the documents to send to your visa application to show that you have sufficient ties in Ghana. And he also said that officers don't usually look at documents. They make their decision based on the answers that you provide. And he went on to say that they will ask you, what do you do in Ghana or whichever country that you are? Why do you want to go to the USA? And the last one he said is, have you ever traveled outside of Ghana before? And he finally said that you have to be honest and you have to make sure you do not prevent any fake documents. So we are coming to analyze all the questions that he said. Now, in no particular order, let's start with the first one. The first question that you'll be asked is, what is the purpose of your visit to the United States? What are you going to do there? This, you have to be clear and concise in your response. If you are traveling for business, mention the meeting or the conference or the negotiation you are going to attend. If you are going for tourism, just specify the place and the plan, and you have to add the duration of your stay. Let me just give an example. For example, if I'm attending an AIDS conference, I can say I'm attending an AIDS conference in New York from July 10th to the July 15th. This conference is organized by the Association of Nurses in AIDS Care in the United States, which I am a member. After the conference, I plan to visit few tourist attractions in the city for a week. So if you are a nurse, you have to relate your profession to this conference because this is going to give you a point and is going to benefit you. You can also add that the conference will be an excellent opportunity for me to learn about the latest research, treatment options and prevention strategies. As a district HIV nurse in my community, attending these sessions, workshops can help me gain insight and also improve on my practice, which also directly applies to all the educational programs I organize for children in my area. Additionally, connecting with other educators and professionals will help me to build my network resources and support, which is crucial for my ongoing development of my initiatives. So you can just give this sample answer. And I think that if you are able to express yourself in this way, the consular will be impressed. You don't have to give short answers like, I'm going for a conference in New York and end it. No, you have to just say more and you have to prove to the consular that you are indeed going for this conference and you will come back to your country. So let's just say that you are attending a conference and this conference does not relate to your basic profession. For example, you can say, I'm not a nurse, but I want to attend this AIDS conference, and this does not relate to your field. The basis of the answer you give should be the same, and it should be more convincing, and you have to show that indeed you are connected to whatever conference that you are going to do. Now, let me just say, for example, you are a banker and you want to attend an AIDS conference. Let me just give a sample answer. You can say, I'm attending an AIDS conference in New York City from the 10th of July to the 15th of July. After the conference, I plan to visit few tourist attractions in the city for a week. As a banker, I have deep and strong ties and personal interest in HIV education and awareness. Outside my professional career, I dedicate my time to educate teenagers in my community and church about AIDS prevention and treatment. We recently organized a regional AIDS awareness program in Kumasi, where I was the main speaker. So attending this conference will enhance my knowledge and allow me to bring valuable insight back to my community, furthering my educational initiatives. Your consideration of this application will be greatly appreciated. So if the field you are in does not relate to the conference that you want to attend, you can just try to make a connection in there, and this should be enough. But know that as you say this, you might be asked to prove all these. So if you said you've been a speaker somewhere, you just have to prove everything in there. So the key thing is, whichever conference you are attending, you should have enough knowledge and involvement in your local community. You have to show ties and make sure that you do not lie. Know that these consulars are also lie detectors because they can detect, they've done this job for a long time and they can know whether you are telling lies or saying the truth. So from what the Consular General said, he also mentioned that they want to know whether you have professional ties in your country. That is what they ask, what you do in Ghana. So you have to explain this and convince them that you have connections in your country. This can be family, job, property, or other commitment that indicate that you indeed return after your visit. Now, let's give an example. If you are asked this question, you can just say, yes, I have a full-time job in Tamale Teaching Hospital where I've worked for 5 years. Additionally, my family, including my spouse and my 2 children, live in my hometown where I have a house there. So in this case, you have to go with marriage certificates, your children's certificates, and because this can be requested because you've stated that you are married and you have kids, so they can ask of all these documents. And if you haven't watched my video on the documents to send for your B1, B2 interview, after this video, you have to go and watch that and make sure you have all the necessary documents. All right. Now, someone will say that I'm not married and I have no kids. How do I answer this question? The key is you have to prove that you have ties in Ghana or whichever country you are applying from. So you can just give an answer like this. I am a dedicated nurse here in Ghana. I am employed in KLB Hospital for the past 7 years. My career is very important to me and I'm committed to my patients and my community. Additionally, I have close family ties, including my parents, my siblings, with whom I have strong relationships. I have no intentions of abandoning my responsibilities and my connections here. My purpose in visiting the USA is purely for the ACE conference, and I fully intend to return to continue my career and be with my family. I may travel to the USA in the future, but I need to get my ankles first, as if I overstay in the USA, I know I'll be illegal and it will jeopardize my nursing career. So you can just give this sample answer and the consular might be convinced. As you speak, you have to be confident enough and you have to be truthful. Now let's look at the third question that the consular indicated that you might be asked during your visa interview. They might inquire about your travel history. They will ask if you have traveled to other countries before. So you have to share details of your past international trips. You have to emphasize that you adhere to the visa rules and you returned on time. For example, I can say I have traveled to several countries, including UK, Canada, France, Netherlands, and Germany for meetings relating to ACE research and for leisure. I have always complied with the visa regulations and returned within the allowed period. So you can just give this sample answer and that will be it. Let's just say you haven't traveled before. And this is where I entreat everyone to take every opportunity that they get to travel within Africa. You can go for some ACE conferences or meetings, or you can just go for leisure in South Africa, Kenya, or any other country that you wish. You will be asked during your visa interview whether you have traveled before. And if you haven't traveled before, this is what you can say. You can just say, no, I haven't had the opportunity to travel yet, as I was focused on building my skills and gaining experience in my field locally. I wanted to finish a course that I was doing so that I will be prepared for the next level. However, I partook in some of the virtual discussions in the previous years, and I'm excited about this opportunity as I'll be part of the program fully, learn new skills, meet friends, contribute to my professional growth, and the growth of my company. So if you haven't traveled before, you just have to make sure that you are looking forward to it, and if you are given the opportunity, you will learn a lot from this. And I also stated why I haven't traveled before, and I think that if you are able to give this in a convincing manner, the consular might be convinced. Now let's look at some other questions that you may be asked during your visa interview. So you can be asked how long you intend to stay in the United States. So you have to provide a specific time frame that aligns with your travel plans. And you have to ensure that the information matches with your application. Every information that you give or every answer that you give there should match with what is on your DS-160 form. So you can just say, I plan to stay in the United States for 2 weeks from 10th July to the 24th of July. So you have to evaluate your intent to return home, because the officer might also ask about your financial stability. So another common question that will be asked is, how would you finance this trip? So you have to demonstrate that you have sufficient funds to cover the travel expenses. So you have to mention your savings, your job, or if you have sponsorship, you can also say that this person is sponsoring me, and you have to get the documents backing all of this. If you are asked this question, you can say, I have saved enough for this trip and I have a steady income from my job. Here is my bank statement and my employment verifications letter as a proof. You can just give any sample answer that shows that indeed you can finance this trip. You can also be asked about your accommodation plans and whether you've made any arrangements in the United States. So you have to provide the details of this accommodation, whether it's a hotel, a rented apartment, or you'll be staying with family and friends. You have to make sure that all these details matches with the one in your DS-160. For example, you can say, I'll be staying at Marriott Hotel in New York City for the duration of the business trip. And also the consular might ask you, do you have any relatives in the United States? This is a yes or no answer, and you have to answer truthfully. Now guys, these are the commonly asked questions during a B1, B2 visa interview. Note that this might take 3 to 6 minutes. Sometimes it can even be less, depending on how well you answer your questions. Now let's look at how I answered my question when I went for my interview. Can you believe that I was asked only one question during my stay? And the first question that I was asked is, what are you going to do in the United States? And this is what I said. I am traveling to the United States to attend this year's International AIDS Conference on Stigma, which will be organized by Howard University. This will be held in Washington, D.C. on their campus from 14th to the 16th of November 2020. This conference is significant in the field of AIDS and public health research, which I am much into it. It will also provide an excellent opportunity for my professional development, networking, and it also helped me to stay updated with the latest advancement in research in AIDS prevention and treatment and care. So during this conference, I'll be attending various sessions, workshops, and keynote presentations that are directly related to my work as a nurse at Priorities on Right and Sexual Health, an NGO that I've been working for the past few years. Additionally, I have scheduled meetings with Professor Francis from Yale University, some other researchers, and potential collaborators to discuss an ongoing project we are having in Kumasi and Accra, which will help to combat AIDS for young people in Ghana. So attending this year's conference will be crucial for my development, and also I'll bring back valuable insight and knowledge to the whole POSH team here in Ghana. And also I have all the necessary documentation, including my conference registration, invitation letters, and I have my itinerary here and the sessions I have planned to attend. I have also made arrangements for accommodation and return travel, which I can provide if needed. I was even shocked that I was able to talk at that length, because as I kept on talking, all that the consular was doing was typing. And this was at a period that I have written 5 IELTS tests. So you can imagine, I have 5 IELTS speaking belts to my credit. So I was busy showing off my speaking skills, and the consular was just busy with her computer. I don't know if he was listening or not. So at the end of everything, he just took my passport and congratulated me. But someone would say, what if you are interrupted during this lengthy answering of questions? Note that these consulars, they have different ways of asking each and every one question. So if you are asked to stop somewhere whilst you are trying to flow or you are trying to speak at length, make sure that you stop. Don't tell the consular that KLB asked you to talk that long, so you just keep talking just like that. No, you just have to stick to what the consular is saying and move in that direction. And you have to know that visa interviews, I always say this, visa interviews are just like IELTS speaking tests. You do not have to give short answers, because how can you convince someone if you give short answers? For example, if you ask, what are you going to do in the USA? And you reply, I'm going for a conference. Is that good enough? You have to give more details, and you have to be confident. Learn about the conference and make sure that you do not lie. Alright, so whichever conferences that you are attending, whether it's banking, nursing, AI, or whichever conference, make sure that you make use of all these valuable tips to your advantage, and make sure that you become confident when answering your questions, because these consulars have been trained to watch out for people who lie, to look out for all of these things, and just go with the right documents so that you can provide them when you are asked. Alright, thank you for watching up to this stage. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more informative content. Hit the bell icon and get notified anytime we upload new videos. And good luck with your visa interview and safe travels. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Watch out for other videos on this channel. Thank you very much. See you. Bye.